Fallout is a good thing, right? Fallout is here. I'll pull up this image. Fallout is surprisingly very, 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 very good. I'm 2 episodes in. It's a classy production. It's an intelligent production. It's a fun production. It's silly. It's serious. It's got a good. It's a great world. Now, I don't know anything about the world, right? I will play the game Fallout after watching the series. But I think it's it stands in its own right. We've been talking about adaptations. I understand it's saying that if the original thing is something that you know and love, and the adaptation isn't accurate, I understand your pain. Why has there not been a screen accurate adaptation of Judge Dredd, except with Judge Minty, which was a fan film, and it looked brilliant. Right, I mean, man, how much more proof of concept do you need? Right, I understand your pain. So I don't know how far this is away from the original. This is inspired, I think, very heavily by the original and making a narrative out of it, which works. Okay, so I'm on the second episode. The first episode was basically introducing the characters. You had this woman in blue who is okay. Here's one of the reasons I like it. I like it. She is definitely hot enough. She is for the male gaze. She is a attractive woman, right? I mean, she's not crazily, stunningly hot, but she's not. They don't underplay her beauty, which I like a lot, right? Yeah. So I like that part. I think works really, really well. And I think she's. I like her in this movie. It's kind of in this TV show. It's kind of. She's got kind of twisted Zoe Deschanel kind of vibe. In fact, the whole Fallout franchise, as far as I can tell, it's kind of like David Lynch does the apocalypse. Kind of like it's sped up a little bit on crack. But yeah, David Lynch does the apocalypse on crack. Yes. So there's a lot of real genuine apple pie-ness about it, right? Which exudes this main character. So okay, basically in the first episode we meet the characters. We have what's her name? You go. Characters are Ella Purnell as Lucy McLean, right? A vault dweller. And again, yeah, look, attractive enough, right? Attractive enough. But I hate to be coarse, but yes, right? Definitely attractive enough. So she lives in a vault where, again, it's a very idealized Americana. They have these cornfields, but everything's inside a silo, and it's very cleverly done. Check out my review of the first episode. So anyway. She's on a mission. Her silo's been infiltrated. Her father's been kidnapped. So she's on a mission to find her father. Meanwhile, the guy in the back of her in the giant robot costume, right, looks fantastic. These things look great, right? So these things called Steel Knights. I don't really know much about them. They got they're Knights of superpowers. There's a definite hierarchical structure there. So this guy is a young squire to one of the knights, and the knights is a complete arsehole that he has to serve, right? Played by the wonderful, what's his name? What's the guy's name again? Was super anti-Trump, now is pro-Trump. It's so funny. What's the guy's name? Recurring? Is he? Matt Bear's in it. That's cool. Michael, no, it's Michael something or other, I think. Must be one of these people. Michael Rappaport! Michael Rappaport, yeah, you go. Who's very funny in this, fine. So, and he's being put upon and not happy in his place in the world, right? And finally, you have Walter Scroggin's character, the cowboy-esque person in the back with no nose. I don't know much about him, right? I hope we find out more about him. He's introduced at the beginning. Starts off, it's like the 1950s, or a parallel 1950s world, and there's massive nuclear holocaust. Building. You see lots and lots of nuclear bombs going off, and he's like a cowboy entertainer with a sweet black daughter, right? I guess so they're very wholesome in the pre-war section, and somehow he survives a couple of 100 years, and now he doesn't have a nose, and he's super powerful, and you have no idea what's really going on. Fine. So this episode starts off with episode 2 starts off with the guy from Lost. What's this guy's name again? Mike. Again, it's gonna be one of these people, right? Who's got a very when you want like weird Michael Emerson, right? Michael Emerson, that bloke. Is that coming up on the scene? Yeah, Michael Emerson, who I first saw in Lost. Whenever you want like an intelligent bloke who's clearly insane in some way or another. Right? It's like weird going on, but the weirdness is going on through his hyper intelligence, right? So it starts off with him, the second episode, and it's like the humor's so dark, right? It's so dark, and he's in some kind of totalitarian science colony where they're not like they're very fascist, and they're not emotional, and they're checking these puppies that have just been born, and they're not they don't weigh enough. They just throw them in the incinerator. And it's like, whoa, that's the worst thing ever. So he falsifies the record for this puppy that he weighs enough, and ends up taking him home and secretly trading him and being just nice to him. And it's gorgeous. Oh, I love it. I love this whole part, right? It is fan-freaking-tastic, right? So we have, what's it? It's the name Ellen? What's the name of the character? Lucy, right? We have Lucy McLean. She's walking through, she just left the vault because she's trying to find her father, and she's walking through the post-apocalyptic world, and you're getting used to that world. Now, the Michael Emerson, he's now a denizen of the world. He's not part of the science fascist world where he came from. And it's all like small-time traders, right? And like it's very wild westy feel. At the same time, you have the knight. So he's squiring Michael Rappaport, who's a complete asshole, right? So without spoiling it, he ends up in the taking on the knight armor, right? Giving him superpowers. And so was it Lucy? She ends up meeting up with Michael Emerson, as I said, and the dog. And he's like, "What? And he knows everything about her, which is really weird, right? He knows, like, you're a dweller, you're a silo dweller. What's it called again? Not silo, a what dweller? What's it called again? Not a surface dweller. Is that a silo dweller? What do they call it? Amazon, blah, blah, blah. Some of the Great War, Apocalypse Exchange, Alternate Earth. Vault Dweller. There you go, Vault Dweller. I knew I thought I'd get that. So, and he's like trying to teach her about the world that she doesn't understand at all. So she's plodding on, and the trajectory of all these people meet up, where the Walter Scoggins, who's like the guy without the nose, has a bounty on Michael Emerson's head. Well, he's also helping out Lucy, and the Still Night guy ends up having to turn up there as well. And there's a big showdown between the three of them. Generally speaking, it's all working really well, and I think it's working really, really well. Specifically because of the creative team, which are excellent. Again, creative team, which I really, really like. Which are it's Chris O'Neill and Lisa Joy, Genevieve Robertson. I don't know her, and Graham Wagner. Don't know them. But again, I'm going on. Jonathan Olson and Lisa Joy, who did Well, again, I recommend Watchmen. Not Watchmen. Westworld. So highly. It's so freaking good, right? It's unbelievably strong. If it wasn't your cup of tea, you would have to admit it was a very classy production. This is a very classy production. I don't know how well it's realizing the world. It feels like it is, but I don't know. I mean, I think there's probably details of it that are not been revealed yet. I know Tim Paul was really pissed off at it, right? And that's because he played the game. So, I don't know what to tell you, mate.
My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.